All right, y'all, we back with some more conspiracy theories and unexplained mysteries. But before we get to the madness, man, I need y'all to help me unplug some more people out of the matrix. And you do that by smashing the like button and putting hashtag unplugged in the comment section. That lets us know you unplugged. All right, let's get to it.
A lot of people don't even know this. They contact to speak to the Black Pope. Not a black man, but a Black Pope. He wears the black garment. He's called a super Jesuit with a sworn oath, a very special sworn oath that I've posted online many times. It's pretty dark. It's a pretty dark oath, and it comes directly from their information, so it's not fabricated or somebody made it up online. And what's interesting is the governments of the world, the superpowers of the world, they contact and get approval for the war from the super Jesuit Black Pope. Think about that kind of power. Think about that level of power. People don't even know a Black Pope exists. They don't even know what a Black Pope is, but when you start looking it up and then research the oath that's taken, it is so dark, it'll make you feel sick on the inside. That's how dark it is. At the rate that they're going with what they're doing, they can't persist too much longer. They still, however, right now hold a lot of power. I mean, even the governments of the world contact the Vatican before they go to war. A lot of people don't even know this. They contact to speak to the Black Pope.
Is there some truth to this? Because I already have my skepticism about the Vatican. You know what I mean? And everything has taken place and that is taking place there. You know what I mean? But I've never heard this before.
That's how old the Anunnaki were when they came to this earth. They were 1 million years ahead of us already. They were already 1 million years ahead of us when they landed on the earth 450,000 years ago. For 250,000 years, they did the work themselves and left us alone. They didn't even bother with us. And then 200,000 years ago, they decided they were going to mess with us, and they started genetically tinkering us, and they created the Homo sapiens sapien, which is who we are right now. That's how old.
You know, a lot of people say, this is where we got all the information. We should accredit it to the Anunnaki as far as our advancements in technology. You know what I mean? And it's like we're almost working for them. You know what I mean? Kind of like they got tired and was like, okay, we need a species to kind of do the work for us or something like that. There's been several different conspiracy theories about them that I've heard, and this one kind of lines up with some of them that I've heard.
There's a group of fallen angels called the Anunnaki, and these were black angels. They descended to Earth because these are the angels that rebelled against God, some of them, and they were part of ancient Sumerian culture. This is where the fallen angels mated with humans. And it's also depicted and written in ancient Sumerian tablets. And they said that the Anunnaki manipulated human DNA. So this story sounds familiar, doesn't it? And it sounds like whenever the fallen angels mated with human women. But in today's day and age, people look at the Anunnakis as extraterrestrials, and you can even find the History Channel doing videos about the Anunnaki and how they created human beings. They didn't create humans, they created a subdivision of humans. And these fallen angels take credit for creating humanity in general. They take the role, or they play the role of God. And this is how you know these are fallen angels right here.
Have you ever heard of the Anunnaki? These ancient beings from Mesopotamian mythology have been the subject of much fascination and debate in recent years. But what if I told you that some people believe the Anunnaki were real and may have actually played a role in human history? According to this theory, the Anunnaki were a group of extraterrestrial beings who came to Earth thousands of years ago. They were said to be highly advanced, possessing knowledge and technology far beyond anything humans of that time could comprehend. But what did they want with us? Some believe that the Anunnaki were responsible for creating humanity, using genetic engineering to create a hybrid race of humans and their own species. Others believe they simply visited Earth to mine for resources, and may have even taught ancient civilizations like the Sumerians advanced techniques like agriculture and metalworking. While there is no concrete evidence to support the existence of the Anunnaki, their legend has persisted for centuries. Whether they were...
What about the Book of Enoch? Wouldn't that be some evidence? And my skepticism about, why they keep it out of the Bible and stuff like that could be the reason that we don't talk about them as much and different things. But the Anunnaki, bro, I know it seems far-fetched, And it seems like a stretch. But man, just listen,
Were real or simply a myth, their story continues to captivate and inspire those who seek to understand the mysteries of our past.
Zechariah Sitchin, he wrote all these books about this culture from another planet called the Anunnaki. See that thing that he's holding up in front of him? That is a piece of Sumerian art. Yeah. See the star, the sun with all the planets? That is our solar system. It's not just our solar system, that is all the planets in all the right sizes. This was 6,000 years ago. It also depicted this orbit, this elliptical orbit of this planet called Nibiru. This is where the Anunnaki came from. They came down here, they studied some lower hominids, they introduced their DNA into these lower hominids and made human beings. The description of Anunnaki, what it means is those from heaven to earth came. There's these also depictions of these enormous people with these little monkey people sitting in their lap. And this was what he believed was describing the Anunnaki's genetic alterations of monkeys. Not only that, they had the caduceus. You know the caduceus, the symbol for medicine? It's also the double helix of DNA, and that's what he believes it represented. He believes that that caduceus symbol represents DNA.
But it also looks like a guy was just like trying to decorate with two snakes.
Totally.
Doing the tango.
But why does it represent medicine? And why does it still represent medicine today?
Jesus was Yeshua. That was his name, Yeshua. This was a real person that existed. Some people are like, oh, he was just an imaginary person. No. There's a lot of evidence that he actually existed. He lived, he breathed, he had blood in his veins. He was a walking man, M-A-N. It wasn't some type of a flying guy with wings on his back. He was a man. He came through a womb. He was just interesting, though. There was a little something different about this guy. The fact that he was a virgin birth. But when I looked deeper in to see, well, maybe this was a mistake or maybe it was a mistranslation, I found through the Apocrypha text that his grandmother was also a virgin birth. Now this is really interesting. So we see this established bloodline here where through the grandmother comes his mother and then through his mother comes him, both through in vitro fertilization. This is advanced technology. Someone purposefully did this. Jesus.
Are y'all familiar with this guy? It's the second time I've seen him in this string of videos. And he sound like he kicking some knowledge. Of course, you gotta do your own due diligence and check behind him, but you know what I mean? It sounds legit, but I want to know, have y'all heard, is any background on him? Does he know what he's talking about? Is he, proven? Is he legit? And I don't even know his name. It just says, the channel says Emerald Secrets or whatever, but it don't have his name anywhere. So, yeah, I'm curious about this guy. Y'all let me know about him.
Did you know the oldest ancient text in the world, called the Seven Tablets of Creation, mentions that humans were created by immortal aliens of highly advanced technology? They descended upon Earth 400,000 years ago. These cosmic visitors were from a celestial red planet known as Nibiru, and came to this planet to mine gold and resources. Our ancient ancestors called them Atlanteans or Anunnaki, and they painted the planet with their presence, with ancient antiquity that can be found in every corner of the world today. Such beings, remarkable as they were, mirrored humanity in many ways, and we share their depths of human-like emotions, the ardor of love, jealousy, lust, and the shadowy abyss of hate. Their heads and bodies were much larger than human, but we look like them, and they look like us. They had technology.
I wonder if they're referring to like the elongated skulls when they say their heads and stuff were much bigger than ours. I wonder if they're referring to that.
Logical weapons so advanced that it seemed to our ancient ancestors as magic.
Now, there's a belief that, based on studying the Anunnaki, that they are coming back. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, in all the texts, they always say that they're going to return. The reason why they left was there was a pyramid war. It was the second pyramid war. Amun-Ra, also known.
Here is this guy again. What is his name? Hold on, comment below. If I'm trying to look and see what his name is. It's like you don't notice a guy and then all of a sudden you just start seeing and hearing him.
Also known as Marduk. You can look up Marduk's name in the Torah. He's in the Bible. He's in the Sumerian tablets. These guys everywhere. He's Amun-Ra. He started a war because he wanted to extend his kingship. He wanted to take over kingship in other areas that he wasn't supposed to on the planet, so forth, so on. So that war was nuclear. The reason why you know it's nuclear because it specifically says that their nails were falling out, their hair was falling out, blood was coming out of their eyes. This is radiation sickness. And that war is what really caused them to want to flee. In one of the tablets, Enki goes to Anu and says, can you please stop the evil wind? That's what they call it. That's nuclear fallout. He's like, there's nothing I can do. And so he told him, like, turn around, man, get in that ship. We got to get out of here because this thing is coming. And they said that that evil wind covered the land and killed all the animals, the people, and everything else. And a lot of these people never came back. But they said that they'll be coming back and take back claim of the rightful kingship of this planet.
If this is true, it changes everything. According to historical records, the first ancient civilization known to us is that of the ancient Sumerians. The Sumerians existed over 6,000 years ago, predating the Egyptians by 1,000 years. They resided in a region known as Mesopotamia, which encompasses present-day Iraq and parts of Iran, Kuwait, Syria, and Turkey. The Sumerians referred to themselves as black-headed ones, or black-headed people, and held a belief in gods known as the Anunnaki, described as children of the earth and skies. Some researchers speculate that the ancient Sumerians had a remarkable understanding of the universe, as depicted in artifacts showing the solar system with planets orbiting the sun. Adding to their intrigue are depictions of ancient handbags and bracelets. The Sumerians made groundbreaking inventions, including the wheel, alphabet, and the calendar we use today. They also developed irrigation systems for farming, and established a system to measure time in seconds, minutes, and hours. Some believe that knowledge was bestowed upon them. The Sumerian civilization appears to have been one of the most advanced of its time, challenging modern explanations of our history. The discovery of 30,000 stone tablets from ancient Sumeria includes the story called the Epic of Gilgamesh, which features a great flood, an event also found in many other religious texts. Scientists
Noah and the cleansing of the earth
link the end of the last ice age to several temperature anomalies and a significant rise in sea levels, likely caused by an asteroid impact. This catastrophic event may have led to the rapid melting of ice and widespread devastation to various species, including animals, plants, and humans. Some speculate that the tale of the Great Flood is not a mere myth, but a way of passing down knowledge through generations to ensure its survival. Recent findings, such as Göbekli Tepe in Upper Mesopotamia, dating back at least 11,600 years, have questioned the age and origins of the Sumerians. It is still uncertain where the ancient Sumerians originated from, and some theories suggest they may have migrated south into southern Mesopotamia, where the people of Göbekli Tepe became the Sumerians we know today.
They thought they were cloaked.
This a whole Anunnaki ship in the sky. You see the Anunnakis running around. Look in the sky.
They thought they were...
Y'all saw that? Hold on, we gotta watch that one more time. Cause you never know, man, with computers and stuff like that and people able to project things into the sky and make it look like something. But at the same time, with everything that's going on in the skies, you can't just look past this stuff anymore.
Were cloaked.
This a whole Anunnaki ship in the sky. You see the Anunnakis running around.
Now, this could be Project Bluebeam. I'm just saying, this could be Project Bluebeam.
Look in the sky.
Yo, he is 9'6".
Anunnaki, y'all. That's the Anunnaki. Come on, that's Anunnaki, bro.
People talk about the Anunnaki, people describe the Anunnaki, and they even have different names. But what you may not know, that these are actually extraterrestrials. And we would say that each of those gods are not single individuals, but they're collectives. They're races of beings. And there's actually, each one of those gods is a different collective, a different race of Anunnaki.
Enlil, Enki, Marduk, Emilian. I don't even know how to pronounce that last one. They got different names for them too. Like, see, this stuff gets deeper. Everything I've been doing has just been surface level. Surface level. This stuff goes deep, man. I don't even think I'm prepared to know how deep this thing goes.
Anunnaki, they're actually not pure Anunnaki. And there's a difference because we're going to have the actual Anunnaki, their DNA gets stolen and made their own hybrids. So there's many DNA templates of Anunnaki that are very unique, each one, such as Marduk, which comes from an Anunnaki plus an Omicron, and actually explain them from a multidimensional perspective. Because you cannot understand aliens, God, or gods. You cannot understand Anunnaki unless you understand a little bit about the dimensions. Reality is not just one level, it's many, okay? Not just heaven and hell and earth. There's 15 levels of reality because you understand that these beings are not from our level of reality, not just a different planet.
And they talked about that in the book of Enoch, how there's different levels of heaven. So
let's talk about the Anunnaki, all right? This video just recently surfaced where this guy discussed the Anunnaki. Now, I expressed that they here already, all right? They here. Once in a while, this ancient astronaut race revisit this planet to kind of see how far we came along technologically. Nonetheless, they were in Iran, these Russian soldiers, basically, and they were seeking out ISIS troops. They were in this trench, and they eventually got the ISIS troops to surrender, okay? They were made like work of the ISIS troops. They started to hear this Morse code sound, this beeping, okay? This sound like ancient Morse code is what they indicated. So they start to follow the sound pattern. As they begin to follow the sound pattern, they end up running into this ancient humanoid Anunnaki race, and they were heavily armed with plasma technology, plasma beams. The Anunnaki obliterated this Russian military. Now, this isn't the first instance of Anunnaki actually running into some Russian soldiers. Now, this guy came out and actually spoke of it. This gentleman here, he was unalived. Okay, he had an interview with this individual, and he was basically exposing everything that transpired with how the Anunnaki were speaking with Putin and things of that sort, and just the Anunnaki basically was trying to negotiate with Putin in reference to leaving him alone or whatever the case may be. And for whatever the case may be, Putin didn't want to adhere to it, and the Anunnaki said that they will be back or whatever the case may be. You have to listen.
They will be back, or they're already here. Now that's the question that I have. Are they amongst us right now? Why don't they want to make themselves known? Are they giving us more information? Or is that how we keep progressing forward with technology, robots, different things like that? All of this stuff that continues to wow us year after year in these advancements. You know what I'm saying? Are they still feeding us intel information or giving us information to help us progress? Like, all of these are questions that I have.
Listen to the interview. It's very informative, and it does show you that this ancient astronaut race is here, contrary to what some people think. Now, the guy in the video stated that the bullets bounced right off the Anunnaki. One thing you have to remember is that this ancient race is about 1 million years ahead of us in technology. They have cybernetic technology, multi-dimensional cybernetic technology that's interwoven in their garments and also in their intrinsic metals that create shields that repel kinetic energy. Bullets and things of that sort bounce right off the Anunnaki. They stated that their skin was a gold to bronze color. And a guy also stated that they were about 5 meters to 15 meters tall, okay? If you do the math on 15 meters, it's going to show you about 49 feet tall, okay? Which means that these beings were giants that they encountered. Some of them were 5 to 15 meters tall. They were giants, okay, basically.
Lucifer never existed in the Bible. The reason why we created that archetype was because we had misunderstood and mistranslated the Hebrew text. But it gets even deeper. So the entire world learned about Lucifer through one verse in the Torah, which is Isaiah 14:12. And that's the famous verse that goes, "O Lucifer, how art thou fallen," etc., etc. We translated the word Lucifer into the English as an uppercase noun, a name with a big L. But we got the English from the Latin. And the Latin is where the word Lucifer is first shown to us because it's a Latin word comprised of 2 root words, lucis, light, and fere, which means to bring or to hold. But we got the Latin version from the Greek version. And in the Greek, where we would see Lucifer, we would see the word phosphorus, which is equivalent to the Latin Lucifer, which means light or fire or bright. But we got all of those from the Hebrew, which is Hillel ben Shahar. And Hillel ben Shahar means Hillel, son of Shahar. And the word Hillel means bright bright or shiny. And so that's where we got Lucifer, son of the morning, Hallel ben Shahar, because Shahar also means morning. But there's a reason why that is used in the Torah. Isaiah was a royal prophet and a royal scribe, and he was writing during the time of the Babylonian exile, when the Babylonians were descending upon the kingdom of Judah and taking them all into captivity. And so he was writing a prophecy about the downfall of the Babylonians, saying that they are like Hallel ben Shahar. Hallel ben Shahar was actually a Canaanite deity belonging to an old mythology before Judaism. And in that mythology, Hallel was a younger god who tried to rise to the throne but failed. But it gets even deeper.
See, this right here, he's a prime example of me knowing that there's so much more for me to learn. It's so much more truth out there. He's speaking it right now. You know what I mean? And the questions that I had before when we go through certain videos and they talk about different things being left out of the Bible and stuff like that, you know, that goes back to that reference, that all that he's talking about is, it's kind of like, you know, if you happen to have some type of memory loss and you're trying to piece back together your memory, it's like that when you read certain texts and it's certain things left out. You're trying to piece things together, you know, and ultimately has more questions and brings about more questions. So yeah, he's showing me I got a lot more to learn.
The word Hallel, the Greek word phosphorus, the Latin word Lucifer are all words that can be used to describe or denote Venus. And Venus is the brightest celestial object in the sky preceding the sun. Hallel was another version of an ancient Canaanite deity known as Athtar. And Athtar was a male rendition of the female Astarte, who was also Ishtar, who was also Inanna. And all of these goddesses were also represented by the star Venus. And so Isaiah was prophetically and poetically saying that the Babylonians are like Venus, they are like Hallel. They think they are something bright and shiny, but they will soon be overshadowed by God or the sun. So that's what he was really saying. So the early Christians looked at this and were like, oh wow, like he's talking about some person named Lucifer. But we totally just took that and ran with it and exaggerated it. And so there never was a Lucifer. Lucifer never existed.
Now if you believe this, you're truly living in denial. And I'm not talking about Egypt. This is the giant steps in Peru. And they say it was built over 900 years ago. And they also say it wasn't built by giants, titans, or the Nephilim, even the Anunnaki. It was built by a regular architect of normal size. And he didn't know he got the measurements wrong until we finished building it. I mean, come on, brother. What are we doing? The lies have got to stop. You see, the problem about lying is once you tell one lie, you have to keep telling more lies to defend the previous lie. I mean, can you actually imagine somebody building something this big, this precise, and he couldn't count? Huh? He got the measurements wrong. Like, whoops. Well, we might as well keep going now. We've started. Is this what you guys believe? And we're meant to be the conspiracy theory. It's plain as day, bruv. Come on. The eyes are useless when the mind is blind.
Now, I need y'all to listen to me very closely. In TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. And I know y'all probably wondering, like, who is this person that's in this coffin behind me, right? This is Gilgamesh. Yeah, the Nephilim, yeah, Gilgamesh. They found this tomb back in 2003, and it's a conspiracy that his tomb being raided was the whole reason that they went to war in Iraq. It's a conspiracy, right? Let's check it out. Look how intact his body is after all these years. Just look. Real life Nephilim. This is not a game. This was way back in 2003 when they found his body. Are y'all seeing this? Are y'all seeing this?
Asking AI to draw. Who are the Anunnaki?
Oh my God, this is horrible.
I know, Joe.
Oh my God. Footage shows Islamic State militants in Iraq smashing statues of sledgehammers in a bid to crush what they call non-Islamic ideas. Oh my God, this is fucking horrible.
It gets worse than this.
Oh my God.
Alright, so...
Oh my God, this is fucking terrible.
It's hard to see, man.
Oh my God. So they're destroying these thousands of year-old artifacts, and they're doing it with sledgehammers. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is crazy.
Yep.
Oh my God, he's just destroying that face. Oh, Jesus Christ. Someone should have stepped in. If there's ever a reason to step in and stop morons from doing something horrific, that is like a real priceless part of history. The history of the entire human race.
Yep.
We should have stepped in. Someone should have stepped in to stop that.
Yep.
God, that's horrible.
And they don't even realize how that affects them. Like, I used to be very, very ignorant when it comes to history. It wasn't even my favorite subject in school. But I've come to and have grown to love and have admiration and respect for history, bro. And artifacts and different things. Like, this stuff is extremely, extremely important to us. But yet, we want to destroy it?
According to the Sumerian manuscripts, there is a planet at the ends of the solar system called Nibiru. Every 3,600 years, it enters an orbit close to the planet Earth. Nibiru was the home planet of the Anunnaki, who were experiencing difficulties because...
That's the first time I've ever heard about their planet. I want to hear more about their actual planet. What else do we know other than that? And how did we gain that information?
Because the climate and atmosphere of the planet were changing rapidly, making it difficult to produce food and therefore to survive. It was necessary to use advanced methods of technology, alchemy, and magic to reverse this situation. To do so, a large amount of gold was needed, since this metal has purifying properties capable of resisting even cosmic radiation. However, gold was a rare resource in Nibiru, and without other alternatives, the Anunnaki used their advanced technology and sent ships into space in search of the precious golden metal. After a long and tiring search, they arrived on planet Earth about 445,000 years ago, where they were the first astronauts to cross space and colonize another planet.
To mine gold, which we had an abundance of.
The planet Earth was inhabited only by wild animals such as mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, and some apes. The Anunnaki settled in Mesopotamia and built a wonderful city called Eridu. In this city, there was a splendorous garden full of fruit trees and animals. The garden created by the Anunnaki was named Eden, and the first favorite place of the astronaut gods. Shortly after, gold extraction began in underground mines. To do the heavy tasks, they brought with them slaves from another alien race, the Igigi. After years of forced labor and humiliation, the Igigi rebelled against the Anunnaki, giving rise to the first war on Earth. The Igigi were defeated and decimated. The Anunnaki needed new workers. The solution was to create a new race of intelligent beings, able to work, but more harmless than the Igigi. The Anunnaki combined their genes with the ancestors of human beings, creating a hybrid and submissive race at their command. This genetic fusion did not go very well at first. Strange beings came to life, like the Nephilim giants, which, although extraordinarily strong, were devoid of intelligence and self-control. The first man to emerge from this successful genetic combination was named Adamu. Compared to human beings, the Anunnaki were incredibly tall and strong, and their weapons would be more than enough to control another possible rebellion. Over time, humans developed the ability to speak and learned from the Anunnaki to take care of plantations and build houses made of clay and stone. The Anunnaki came to like human beings. They even allowed them to live in their city and attend the sacred garden, but gave explicit orders not to reproduce too much, against the will of the god. According to the Sumerian
Listen, whether y'all consider this a fairy tale or not, it's still it sounds very good. Listen, it got me. I would love to hear the rest of it, or a part 2, or whatever. So what information do y'all know about the Anunnaki? You know what I mean? Put some links to some different videos in the comment section, man. And everything that you come to know and hear, you know, put it down there. What do y'all think about it? Do you believe in it? Are you super skeptical about it? Or does this start to align and make sense to you as well? Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you think, and stick around and stay tuned. The next one I'm gone. Peace. Hey, y'all. So we are back with some more conspiracy theories and unexplained mysteries. But before we get to the craziness and the madness, I need y'all to help me unplug some more people out of the matrix. And you do that by spamming that like button, then putting hashtag unplugged in the comment section. All right. And subscribe if you're new. Let's check them out.
Reality fell as the ISS astronaut on the left grabs nothing from the other astronaut and sets nothing down. I love the guy in the background that is zooming around here on a harness back and forth. This wasn't a good day for NASA. And I think I just caught a new mistake. Maybe someone else has already pointed it out. But do you remember this disappearing astronaut? It's a continual shot. And so the naysayers can't claim that it's just splicing two clips together. But here's a similar one, just not as obvious. Do you see how his foot becomes see-through? Anyways, I could go on for days on all the space fakery from all the different nations. Unmistakable, permed hair that flows nothing like it should in a zero-G environment. Bubbles in space, repeated CGI mistakes. Obvious use of harnesses and wire fails. Evident use of blue screen technology. The reckless playing with water. The fact that the ISS was never assembled on the ground for extensive testing before it went into space. The impossible longevity of the valves and seals in space.
Even though I'm not a person that subscribes to the theory of space is fake and these fake astronauts going into this fake space, he made some really, really good points to the fact that a person like me who believes space is real is sitting here looking at it like, wow, that's a pretty good point there.
A mistaken reflection of a cameraman off of a cosmonaut's visor, etc. But in the end, it really depends on whether you will allow yourself to investigate the matter. The bottom line is, if they can lie about the Apollo moon missions, the Columbia mission, satellites, ISS, or space, then they could lie about everything.
You look like you're in a studio, maybe in Omaha, Nebraska or something. The shot is so clear. Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still?
I don't know. We're going to have to do something for you.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Watch this.
Does it look fake to y'all? Huh? What do you see? What flaws do you see in this video? Let me know.
Evidence proving fake space travel. Did that MF just disappear?
Apparently this has gone a lot more viral than I knew about. You know what I mean? It seems to know, everybody seems to know about this one clip right here. Yo, y'all will edit some stuff and add it to some footage in a heartbeat, won't y'all? Really? That's a clip from a movie.
Hey guys, What Curve here, and check this out. We have a bunch of clowns on a 0G plane, and what you see here is the two people on the left holding the paper. They're about to drop it when there's supposed to be no gravity. They're supposed to be floating, but they timed it wrong, and then they cut away the scene.
Here we are on some Chinese space station way up in space. 100% guaranteed, way up in space, totally real. And here are our astronauts, totally clean cut, like they just arrived yesterday. Sharp haircuts and everything, very clean. It probably is their 300th day though. We don't know. Here they are floating around because there's no gravity up there. They tell us that there's no gravity, so we know that there's no gravity. But there's one problem. The glass of water forgot to float. What is it doing? Doesn't it know that it's supposed to be in space? Is it a pocket of gravity? I know that there's an answer. There always is an answer. And it's going to be some magical, like, settling equation or something like that. I think I see a little bit of curve on that water. I can tell that water's curved. It's not really level. Nothing is really level. So it's probably some sort of refraction. I'm going to call it that. I love space, man. Just love it.
Wait a minute. I thought that NASA had explained to us that there is no sound in space. Well, explain this to us, NASA. Did y'all hear that? Either we have sound in space or we don't. Get your story together, please, NASA.
What is he talking about? I didn't even hear anything. What did he hear that made him just want to harp in on this specific point? What? I didn't hear nothing.
Look at this. Did y'all hear that? Let's rewind it. You can clearly see the light come on and hear the clicking. And in this next photo, same lens, one without the concave convex feature and one with it. Look at the flatness in the back. Now watch it morph into a round, fish-eyed view. You see that? Now how do you go from that to flat? Does that make any sense to anyone? So not only are you fooling everybody with these fake fish-eyed lens, but you're also bumping things and making noises in space. Do better, NASA. Do better.
They want us to believe in UFOs. They're preparing us for a fake alien invasion. That's always been the plan. A one-world government. The only way to do it is to get us to embrace it. And the only way to embrace it is from an alien attack. Ronald Reagan talked about it many times and said, wouldn't it make our lives easier if we just had some extraterrestrial threat? He said that shit. He said that in front of the UN.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
When people ask me, why would they fake space? It's always been about a fake alien attack. You can't have a fake alien attack without space. You know who promoted space more than anybody? Nazis.
Russians.
But before the Nazis, the Vatican. The most powerful telescope, the Vatican. And you know what name it is? Lucifer.
Lucifer's dick balls.
When people ask me, why would they fake all that? Isn't it weird that every space documentary are all CGI? There's nothing real. And everyone watches that, they believe it, the narration is all programming. What's above us and what we're on, we're being lied to. Once you go flat, you never go back.
That's why I'm suing NASA, guys, because they are giving us fake CGI cartoon images, and they're saying that this is Earth from the space station. They're claiming that, although we never see any land. Look at how fake this is. This is supposed to be the clouds covering the Earth. What the hell? This isn't even...
Nah, that part, I won't lie. I'd be a little skeptical about some of those views. Remember, was it the Red Bull commercial where the guy was supposed to jump out of something in space and come back to Earth? his whole view was very it just looked different, weird. But I'm taking it from a standpoint, I've never been up there, so I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to look like, so I can't really, you know what I mean, chime in on it, but it does. It just like this one here, this view here, it does look kind of CGI-ish a little bit. I'll give you that.
Isn't even good CGI. Look at this garbage. Can you believe this? And change the soundtrack from... They play the same soundtrack for a year. They're never going to change it. It's because they're trying to brainwash us. Oh, it's so absurd. And what part of Earth is this supposed to be right now? Come on, guys. No land? Ever? And if you look carefully, if we analyze this footage, all you have to do is look. This is a repetitive CGI thing. They'll take this shape right here, like this little E right here, and it'll go into a program which will spread out across this screen, and it'll go like E, sorry about the devil horns, E, all across the thing. Look at it. Look at it, guys. We have to sue NASA. I'll start it if you guys follow. It's not if, I'll start it. Oh, and that's it. They give us 1 second of it. Ooh, dirty workers. NASA's so evil. They are. We have to sue them immediately.
Hier is het Amerikaanse toilet en dat is interessant. Het is hetzelfde toilet als bij de Russen, maar interessante systemen. Hier achter deze panelen wordt de urine opgevangen en
Now, I know what everybody's going to say. Something fell and what happened to gravity? How did that thing just drop and hit the floor? It sounded like something hit the floor. I heard that. So I know what y'all are going to say. I already know.
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.
And you can see the real location of the camera and the very bright and near Earth out the window.
10 or 11 years ago, I stated to various scientists that the moon is not a piece of rock, but it is plasma.
The Americans and Russians are thinking of landing men on it.
Oh, well, that will never happen, never happen, never happen.
Sometimes it's got something called a lunar wave. There are many videos showing the moon with a lunar wave. We don't know what that is. It's all a mystery. Do you believe it could possibly land on it? Absolutely not. You know, you've got a P900 camera now you can buy, and you can zoom in to the moon. It's supposed to be, by the way, 238,000 miles away in deep dark space. It's sometimes translucent. You can see through it.
Whether you believe we went to the moon or not, everybody believes that there's a debate about it, right? Now, if you really have an open mind and you want to get to the bottom of it, let's have an open mind. Let's get to the bottom of it, and let's take it to trial. First thing we got to do is examine the evidence. And the defendant, the government, says we destroyed all the evidence.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
You destroyed the evidence? Why would you destroy all that precious evidence of the greatest achievement of mankind? These guys are fucked. They destroyed the evidence? Okay, it's on now. It would be an open and shut case.
It's a painful process to build it back again.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
When you look up at the sun and moon, you see two equally sized, equidistant circles tracing similar paths at similar speeds around a flat, stationary Earth.
Rise up, look at that great cosmic light and think about it. That gets up in the eastern horizon.
Do you know that there's a growing movement that think that space is fake?
So what would be the upper atmosphere? Would be the edge of the
It's all fake. They're trying to keep us from the knowledge that God has created this place as a very special place. And so by pretending that it's round, they somehow or another are controlling us. They're thinking that we're not exceptional.
Don't forget about the water being above and below. Don't forget about that part. Don't leave that out. This is what I was talking about. Was this it? Yeah, I think this is it. The view was just, I don't know, man. It just gave me weird vibes. I can't lie about that. I have no idea. He's pointing at what the arrows is pointing at. Maybe the names are two different names, maybe. I don't know. Looks like the same. Zenith, Zenith. Not sure what that means.
This made me second guess reality.
Okay, but let me see it.
This video is of, you know when Elon sent a Tesla into space?
Yeah.
So he sent a Tesla into space and there was like a dummy in it. But look.
Let me see.
So this guy was watching it live stream, because this was a live stream, right?
Okay.
Look what happened.
Yo, look how fake this is. Look, this Elon Musk.
So he's watching the Tesla live stream.
Okay.
Look.
Boom.
Where he at?
You see that?
Pause it. Look, he ain't it.
So pause it. You see the Tesla and the robot. Look where it is.
Where is it?
It's look. Now keep watching. Keep watching.
Okay.
Space? What is this? Oh wait, let me fix it. Let me unpause this. Look at this. Oh,
all of a sudden, in
space.
space. In space.
How they do that?
That was fake the whole time. That was fake the whole time. They faked the Tesla being in space, bro.
Oh, these people. All right. First, you'll see it there.
What is that?
I'm gonna put arrows so you can see.
What is that? Something flying around? What is that? They're trying to make that seem like it's a bug or something?
You can clearly make out that it's a fly.
A fly. Wow. Wow.
Kind of flies around, gets blurred, and then it's in the shot, and it's walking, and I think it's on the outside of the glass. Even if it was on the inside of the glass, it couldn't fly around in the space station properly.
That is true of spinning objects in space. So a deck of cards makes some very interesting games and demonstrations that you can do in space. Some of you may be familiar with the old experiment about the hammer and the feather. Well, in this case, our feather will be played here by this four of spades. And you may expect everything up here in microgravity to float, because most everything does float.
No.
I think that was the purpose of it though, right? Wasn't the card not supposed to float? I thought that was the experiment. They got me on this one.
Most of the public have no idea that the ISS is located in an underwater neutral buoyancy lab in Houston, Texas. The space station footage that they trick us with is not traveling at 17,500 miles per hour above your head. It's all being filmed here on Earth. An exact ISS replica underwater. Coincidence?
Space. NASA says, you know, these are new planets, okay? Would you believe, why would you believe that?
Well, why wouldn't you?
Because they're frying pans. They're the bottom of frying pans. Again, zero budget. Zero budget. NASA says, you know, these are new planets.
Wait. He said the bottom of frying pans. What? Oh, man, y'all got to chill out, bro. Y'all have got to chill. Is the bottom of frying pans? Wow.
Okay. Would you believe? Why would you believe that?
Well, why wouldn't you?
Because they're frying pans. They're the bottom of frying pans. Again, zero budget. Zero budget.
So this whole space fly thing is becoming a thing now. That's what we're saying. Space flies. This is what everybody's gonna talk about next is space flies. And that's gonna be everyone's claim to fame to point out that space is fake. Okay, I get it.
No, 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 no.
I get this off my chest, like now. When people say they want to go into space, what do they typically mean by that?
They mean I'm gonna be an astronaut. I'm going into space, man. I'm going up there. I'm going up there.
Up there, and generally they mean they want to go into orbit.
Excuse me. The did you just say?
All right. Anyone who has ever been in space.
They don't mean that. They want to go to space, man.
Well, okay. If that's the case, do you know how many people have left low Earth orbit?
Well, first of all, you are going to have to define low Earth orbit for me.
Okay, sorry.
Because
I'll say it another way. All right, the Apollo astronauts.
Okay,
that left Earth.
Right.
To go to the moon.
All right. Okay. And that's space.
Okay, wait a minute. So those are the only people who have ever left Earth for a destination. Every other astronaut, hundreds of them, are called astronauts, and we still say they went into space. And what that means is they went into low Earth orbit.
Oh, that's just awful.
And so low Earth orbit is, in practice, where the space station is, it's about a couple hundred miles up. So the distance from Earth's surface to the space station is less than the distance from New York City to Washington, D.C.
Oh,
really?
God, why are you depressing me like
I'm
this?
I'm just trying to be honest about this.
This is awful.
In this video, you can hear the child proclaim that the so-called space rocket is actually falling down, as it truly is. Just listen.
It's drifting. That's bad.
It's doing good so far.
Is it? Is that what always happens? Does it always go like that?
Yep.
It looks bad to me. It's in space. Or is it?
Or is it?
Is that it?
Yep, I think that's it.
It's pretty quick, and if you look now, a beautiful view of Crew Dragon at the International Space Station as they are flying 260 statute miles over the Maldives, traveling at over 17,000 miles per hour.
Now, people look at this. First thing they're going to say is, what, y'all? Well, where are all the stars? Where's the stars? I don't see any stars. That's the first claim to fame for this being fake. There's no stars.
We're standing by for a call to the crew, waiting to hear that teams here on the ground are go for undocking.
Wait a minute.
And it cuts to this shot here. Again, a close-up of the Dragon capsule. Bear with me. So we've gone from this shot to this shot of the Dragon capsule. You see the problem? Points of reference on the Dragon capsule, obviously the black side here, wing, the black markings, and of course the nose cone, okay? You can identify the black markings, the nose cone, and of course the black side. Just based on that, it would seem the other shot was supposedly filmed from this area here, looking up at the Dragon capsule, giving us this shot. But the problem is the horizon and the globe Earth curve is in the wrong place. It's 90 degrees out. If I use and turn around my basically vertical reference, which is the Dragon capsule, and align it with this way round, the way it was 1 second earlier. In this shot, the globe...
So, is it not possible they had two cameras?
Globe Earth is below it, curving below it. But when the very next shot, which essentially they showed us was that, I flipped it to get the actual dragon the right way up, with the markings the right way, and the nose cone. And the problem is the position of the globe Earth is no longer below the Dragon capsule, it's above it and to the left. So it went from this shot, the very next shot during the live, to this. You put your globe Earth 90 degrees out, chaps.
So what are you saying? This is a pretty much a Photoshop image is what you're saying? Is that what it is? It's just Photoshopped? I don't think so.
It's in the wrong place by 90 degrees. It should be below the capsule as we're looking at it based on your original footage here.
Angles.
Let's see it once more,
Angles.
the original clip. So here's the original clip. The Dragon capsule's our reference, our vertical reference. The globe Earth is below it.
It's pretty quick, and if you look now, a beautiful view of Crew Dragon and the International Space Station as they are flying 260 statute miles over the Maldives, traveling at over 17,000 miles per hour. And we're standing by for a call to the crew, waiting to hear that teams here on the ground are go for undocking.
And it cuts to that shot, where our Dragon capsule, either the whole space station and the Dragon capsule rotated 90 degrees in the blink of an eye, or the very next shot, the cut to this angle, shows NASA getting it very, very wrong, as their globe Earth is 90 degrees out from the previous shot, which was here. Where was it? We went from that to that in the blink of an eye, and when I correct them and use my the Dragon capsule as my vertical reference and put them the right way around, we went from that to that, where the Earth had rotated or moved 90 degrees. Oops.
So everyone's claim to fame for space being fake either boils down to bad CGI, green screens, camera angles, or photoshopped, or something like that. You know what I mean? And this is what the skeptics use to make their claims that space is fake. But my thing is, I just don't see it's too much. What about the whole race to space? What about all of that? What about the astronauts, Neil Armstrong, and all of them that went? What about the ones who've lost their lives trying to go there? So we're just gonna say that stuff didn't happen? I'm pretty sure if you talk to their families, the way that they've been impacted by that tragic loss, you'll come to find out that some of your theories are just theories, wild ones at that. But I have my belief, and I'm not one to subscribe that space is fake. But y'all get at me in the comment section, man, and let me know what you think, and stick around and stay tuned. The next one I'm gone. So welcome back to some more conspiracy theories and unexplained mysteries, right? But before we get to the video and the madness, I need y'all to help me unplug some more people out of the matrix, and you do that by spamming the like button and putting hashtag unplugged in the comment section. All right, subscribe if you're new. Let's get to it.
Is there something going on underneath Antarctica? Deep in the depths of Antarctica, there have been rumors floating around about a mysterious giant hole that exists as the entrance to another world. Well, you see, in the 1960s, a lone American aviator was flying solo in hopes of exploring a land beyond Antarctica when he encountered this hole. Without hesitation, he dived headfirst into the void, only to find a hidden civilization thriving beneath the planet's crust. This civilization was not only thriving, but in comparison, was advanced in more ways than one. However, when he returned to share his story, he was quickly disavowed by the FBI, and his testimony soon became a legend that slowly vanished from public perception. Even though his original journal documents in detail his trip down the hole, and you can watch the full video by clicking on the link in the description below, many people are still asking the question.
We all know that Antarctica is the most mysterious and intriguing continent that exists. Recently, something came out and could completely change our perception of this territory. According to this thing, Antarctica is not a vast expanse of ice at the bottom of the Earth, but rather a gigantic wall of ice surrounding all the continents of this world. Some even believe that if we were able to cross this ice wall, we would discover other continents that have intentionally been kept hidden from us. In 1992, a new standard world map called the Gleason map was published, depicting Antarctica encircling all our continents. A very intriguing fact is that the logo of the United Nations strongly resembles this map. A pilot took the risk of going there despite the prohibitions, and released a low-quality video claiming to have reached this ice wall. But we cannot be sure if it is truly Antarctica or if it is staged.
So we just can't fly over it for some reason? This is the question that I'm having with this right now.
Scientists have long established that Antarctica is indeed a continent, thanks to satellite images that show its structure and expands. Therefore, it is important to rely on solid evidence and serious research to understand our world. So is this theory simply the product of the imagination of some individuals, or are all our beliefs biased?
So I was on Twitter this morning and saw this post. Go on Google Earth and try to get a measurement of Antarctica. It won't do it, because it's a ring around us. So naturally, I ran straight to Google Earth. I screen recorded.
I don't blame her. I did the same thing. I don't care if I was in the middle or something. I'd have dropped everything I was doing to come see.
Everything I did. I sped it up because I really wanted to capture the shape of this wall. I mean, continent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now to cover all my bases, this is what I did next. I could find the perimeter in the middle of the ocean, middle of Africa, and it didn't matter where I put the points.
Everywhere but there.
Right in the middle of the continent. Now this got me thinking, why don't we journey up to the North Pole? You know, right there in the middle. I'm like speechless. So while I was sitting here pondering all this and being speechless, I went, holy shit. No matter where you set the points, it always had these little spots, or a spot, missing. North Pole. Kind of like a little missing puzzle piece. The missing piece of the circle. Anyways, it's all a big conspiracy theory anyways.
This video got 10 million views, and it shows these two guys who apparently got in a boat and sailed all the way to Antarctica to see if there's new land. And what people were freaking out about in this video was the water looks a little bit different than anything we've ever seen before.
So they sailed to Antarctica in a sailboat? Yeah, little bit skeptical about that, but let's keep going.
It looks kind of thick, and as if it were melted glass. And I haven't figured out a reason or a scientific reason for why this is the case. Maybe there's extra salt in it, or maybe these guys did actually come across some strange water, like no one knows why it's like this. But like, we gotta figure out who these two guys are, because the video is only 2 minutes long. Like, did they actually find anywhere, or are they just sailing around and found an iceberg or something? Like, can you guys in the comment section do some of your magic and figure out who these two guys are? One of the guys in the video was saying he's going to get his phone out and see where they are on the map. So that makes me skeptical. Like, how do you have service if you're way over in Antarctica? Like, I don't think there's any 5G cell towers all the way down there.
Researchers have discovered a crater beneath the Antarctica ice crust, 482 kilometers in diameter. Holy shit.
It's like an order of magnitude bigger than
the dinosaur one, right?
Yeah, that's like a 99 point whatever % extinction event.
So it's
something
it just keeps happening. The Earth just over millions and millions of years and thousands of years that humans have been around. The Earth just keeps getting whacked.
Why don't you just get a plane and fly over its ice wall, stupid flirter?
I ain't gonna lie, that was my question earlier. Yeah, why not? That was my first thought. Had to say it.
We can't, because this is what would happen. Dumb globe trolls. Funny how all these agencies have flat Earth maps as their logo. Just saying.
With this Cessna and the Air National Guard, I'm going to be inside of this Cessna and we're going to be going rogue. We're going to fly into that no-fly zone and we're going to see how the Air National Guard does it. They scramble the fighter jets that come
Take off. We're off.
Flying for miles and miles until...
Okay, we've just entered the no-fly zone now.
Our pilots aren't talking to air traffic control, ignoring their calls to reach them. That triggers an alarm at the Air National Guard base. These fighter pilots scrambling to their jets. They're on alert and ready to take action 24 hours a day. Today, racing to their F-16s, suiting up, climbing on board, and rushing to the runway. Taking off to intercept our rogue Cessna, reaching the target in just minutes. This is the view from the F-16. That's my Cessna right there.
Intimidating as you would think it would be. Look at that fighter jet. He's right off our wing.
Another F-16 swooping in on the right, calling us on aviation frequencies.
Yeah, bro, these bro, they sit around like firefighters, man. Like, sit around and wait for a call and then come jumping out, donning on their gear, what we used to call PPE, and running out to a jet, bro. That's insane to even think of. That's got to be one of the coolest jobs ever.
Intercepted. If you hear this transmission, acknowledge the radio call and rock your way.
He wants us to identify ourselves. We're a rogue aircraft, remember, for this demonstration, so we're not going to respond at all and see what this fighter jet.
Ordered to turn to the northwest.
The fighter jet giving us one last warning. After all of this, the pilot still won't listen. The plane won't leave the airspace. Will you shoot them down?
If required, we'll execute the rules of engagement per the commander of the North American Aerospace Defense Command. And yes, we would do that.
Shoot the plane down.
If it meets the rules of engagement, yes, we would, to defend the airspace.
Entering restricted airspace. You are ordered to turn west immediately. If you do not follow these instructions, you may be fired upon.
So how come the dragons don't fly over the ice wall into Middle Earth where we live? So I asked the guy who said he's flown to New Tared multiple times this exact question, and what he told me is the dragons don't like to live over on Earth anymore because we used to kill a bunch of them, and they especially don't want to come back now because of the 4G and 5G radiation, which apparently is the same reason why all the other people around on these other continents don't want to come to Earth, because there's so much radiation, not only from the phone service but also from electrical outlets, I guess. And what else he told me is that the dragons, they live on these other continents because there's so much space and not many people actually live there. And it is interesting how in every single culture, dragons seem to be a part of it, and they seem to be in their mythology. Maybe they were just mistaken after seeing dinosaur bones, or maybe they actually did see dragons flying in their skies 1,000 years ago. But what do you guys think? Is this guy's story fact, or is it fiction?
Do you know the wacky conspiracy theory about the South Pole? That the South Pole is some sort of a direct energy weapon, that there's like some station down there that they've pretended is just for receiving, but it's actually for transmitting. But this guy was on...
Now, when it comes to stuff like that, I wholeheartedly 1000% believe things like that. Because it's a place, it'd be in places where people don't frequent too often. So I definitely believe stuff like that.
The Sean Ryan show, every single door in the facility, I had complete access to every compartment they manufactured.
What are you blowing the whistle on?
That there are technologies people can't even consider that exist on this planet. Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get into their vocabulary fast. The ice cube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit.
And he's explaining how he went down there and he read the operating manual for this device, and this device caused the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. And I was like, what?
See? Devices. And we spoke about that, I think, in an Antarctica video before, about devices that can possibly trigger earthquakes. Think about that, man. I mean, we're already hearing the talks about them trying to control the weather if they're not already doing so. So what makes you think earthquakes wouldn't be on their agenda as well?
Watch this video and tell me.
Is that ice melting going into the water in big chunks? Is that what's happening? Icebergs just breaking off going into the water or something? What is that?
They found another advanced world just outside of Antarctica. They don't want us going there. Once you understand, there's more land beyond Antarctica. What's another word for more? Extra. What's another word for land? Territory. Put that together in a word, extra terra. If somebody came from the extra terra outside of Antarctica, we might call them an extra.
Unfortunately, he suffered a heart attack during the mission, but the first thing he tweeted after he recovered was a picture of the pyramid in Antarctica, simply saying, "We are all in danger. It is evil itself," before quickly removing it. A close friend of his later revealed that Buzz told him that we thawed out things in the ice we shouldn't have. But the question remains, what did we find that?
Press, I'm very happy that you're giving me this attention and this information attention because it needs to get out to the world. I will start, since we have to be brief. I have already given all pertinent information and supporting documentation to the Senate Intelligence Committee and Arrow. They informed me that all of my information will be recorded for public record and shared with Congress. It is that important. In 2010, I was selected to go down to the South Pole Station in Antarctica for an entire year by Raytheon Polar Services as an employee of a third-party contractor for the National Science Foundation. I function in a dual-role capacity as a tradesman and a firefighter. My responsibilities required me to be more informed than most of my crew and offered me complete access to the facilities. What I learned from this unique experience needs to be shared with the entire world. The technology at the South Pole Station certainly can do what it is presented as its primary purposes, and unfortunately, much more. The ice cube neutrino detector is presented as a passive listening device for the purposes of the science as presented. But I'm going to skip right through the chase, folks. I have provided documentation that proves that the 5,160, what they call DOMs, that are embedded in the ice can actually transmit at 2,047 volts each.
Really?
That gives us a long list of things to consider. It is effectively a multifaceted directed energy weapons platform that I will list rapidly a few things that it can do. Vehicle detection. We're learning that these off-world craft, on-world craft, ours or other nations, are also emitting neutrinos. So this makes the South Pole Station effectively an air traffic control station for this new level of equipment that nobody's discussing. In addition to the ability to detect neutrinos and the exotic vehicles, I have provided documentation that shows that this is also a system for faster than light communications. In the past, Gary McKinnon has hacked NASA, found the off-world fleet, the list of captains, and it's apparent that if we have faster-than-light vehicles moving throughout the system, we're going to need faster-than-light communications. This is that facility. Unfortunately, I have other bad news. The season that I was there, 2010 to 2011, we converted from construction to operations and maintenance in both the elevated station and the detector array. Unfortunately, when they first fired it up, that was when we had the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. There's 2 incidental shots before they were able to target it correctly. This is an earthquake-generating device as well. This is the weapons of war that we have to deal with now. In what rate?
This dude's name is Eric Hecker. We need to check on him. We need to check on him. Make sure his well-being. Anytime, I think from now on, when you start to see whistleblower next to somebody's name, we need to make sure we keep a monitor and a check on them. Are you realize what he's trying to expose right now? And I know people are gonna be like, "Well, he gonna need some proof." He definitely gonna need to show some proof.
But Raytheon's hiding. There's an ELF system at the South Pole Station that when I arrived, I was told it was off, dismantled, and completely defunct. In my work, I will rapidly just tell you, I had to figure out the circuitry for certain other repairs, and I found that this system is in fact completely energized, up and running, and being utilized with the other systems for nefarious purposes as well. The Atmospheric Research Observatory is in what we call the clean air sector. I witnessed myself a very powerful green laser shooting out of the top of this facility into the cosmos. This, I believe, is a secondary form of long-range communications and or a defense system. I am not saying that we need to be scared of anything that's out there, but please understand the military-industrial complex is happy to invest all of your money in alleviating their fears. A question of power comes into play for all of these facilities that are present. I assure you, I knew what was going on, I knew the load demands of the facility, and all of these new items exceed the demand for the systems that I was presented. I'm doing due diligence and research. I believe there is either a secondary power supply there that is either nuclear, that was there prior to the start of the Antarctic Treaty, which prohibits such things, and or that there is some sort of exotic power supply system there that just is not in the verbiage of the treaty, so it negates the responsibility to the parties involved. I think that pretty much covers it for time. If anybody wants to find out more, I have a website where all this information is at. For brevity, I'll wrap it up, but you can go to deciphering.tv. I've documented all of this stuff, and information is
I bet if we go to that website, I'm willing to bet if we go to that website, none of this stuff will be there. It'll probably have all been taken down. That's why I said we need to do a wellness check on him, make sure he's still around. You know what I mean? But this stuff probably won't be there.
Guys, we have another one. What are these? Another unmarked facility. What's going on down there?
Scientists in Antarctica have just discovered a mysterious tunnel. It is believed to have been created by something enormous and unknown, although we're not exactly sure by what. You will clearly see in a few seconds in the video that the walls exhibit traces of rotation. Some are already speculating that it could have been a UFO that passed through, reigniting theories about the hollow earth and the underground realm of Agartha, along with all these eccentric theories. Could this possibly be one of the main entrances to the underground city of Agartha? What level of technological development might the underground civilization have reached?
Simple solution. Let's send a drone up in there, find out. That alleviates everything. Send us a drone in there. Get a few drones down there and send them up in there.
What's certain is that this tunnel is not of human origin. I mean, just look at the perfect shape of this entrance. What do you think? Watch a few more seconds of the video. The ending is astonishing. Please share it before it gets censored by the system. Hold on to your seats. because what you're about to hear will blow your mind. Antarctica, the enigmatic continent, is at the center of a jaw-dropping theory that could redefine everything we thought we knew. Imagine this. Antarctica isn't just a vast expanse of ice, but an awe-inspiring colossal wall of ice surrounding all continents. Yes, you heard that right. A hidden barrier holding unimaginable secrets. Think about the possibilities. What if crossing this ice wall unlocks hidden continents kept from us intentionally? A 1992 map, the Gleason map, has raised eyebrows, depicting Antarctica encircling the entire world. Remarkably, the United Nations logo bears a striking resemblance to this intriguing map. But that's not all. A daring pilot took on the challenge, defying prohibitions, and captured a gripping, albeit low-quality video claiming to have reached this mysterious ice wall. The burning question remains, is it the real deal or an elaborate hoax? Sure, scientists confirm Antarctica as a continent through satellite images, but are we merely scratching the surface? It's time to dig deeper, armed with solid evidence and serious research. Are we holding on to preconceived notions or embracing a whole new reality?
What are they hiding in Antarctica? In old maps, Antarctica is referred to as Terra Austras, which means land of the south. Nowhere does it show or mention ice. The most intriguing thing is that all maps show Antarctica connected to South America, meaning people could literally walk over to Antarctica. Yet scientists say that Antarctica was only connected 600 million years ago. Something just doesn't add up. In 1961, governments signed a treaty to say nobody can go to Antarctica.
Why would they do that? Why? Ask yourself that. Why would they do that if they're not trying to use that place for some type of top secret spot to use?
Recent speculation has created much debate over whether Antarctica was home to a lost ancient civilization before it became the icy continent we know today. Scientists have drilled down into the ice and found evidence that Antarctica was once a lush rainforest and have even found 1 million-year-old DNA. What else could be hidden underneath the ice?
A lot. I think there's a lot. And I know a lot of people don't subscribe to that theory, but again, I think it's a lot hidden underneath that ice. It's not just mammals and everything that froze to death or, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. No. I think it's more up under there. But we're going to keep searching and looking. Y'all get at me in the comment section, man, and let me know what you thought of this crazy, unexplained, and conspiracy theory video. All right? Stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone.